Hello, hello, hello. Let me fix this. Ew. Hi, everybody out in Facebook land. The Book of Faces. I'm a few minutes early, but that's okay. I can be early. I'm usually late, so I can be early. We're going to talk about airbrushes. Today, we're going to talk about airbrushes. Today. My name is Belinda Cooley. I own B's Cookie Basket. That's BS as in Cookie Basket. The reason it's BS is because when I decided to create my website, I did not think about it at the time that you have to put an apostrophe, so it'd be B apostrophe S, and you can't use an apostrophe in your URL. So now it looks like bullshit cookies. So BS Cookie Basket, that's me. Follow me on the Instagram. My first name is Belinda. I want to be Linda. Apparently I'm not. I'm not cool enough to be Linda, so I want to be Linda. It's B-E. So you can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. I do a video every day of some sort to go on the Instagram machine to keep it happy. So I told Twin 1 and Twin 2 that I would do this, and they were all excited, so woohoo. I did see them at CookieCon. I did teach a class at CookieCon. It was a stenciling class where we did some airbrushing and stenciling. And the first button I received as a trade button actually was Twin 1. Twin 1 gave me one. Before Twin 2? Who does that? Okay, if you're watching on the replay, make sure you say replay, because when I flippy doodle the camera around, because my iPad is always dead when I get ready to do this. Why? I don't know. I'll come back and answer any questions, because I'm not going to be able to see your questions, because you're going to be upside down looking at my counter. Couple things I wanted to talk about as far as airbrushes are concerned. Hi, Lauren. Lauren Jacobs, the Cheerful Baker. Y'all, you got to follow her. The girl cracks me up. She's been doing all kinds of random reels lately, and she is hysterical. Hysterical. Hi, Esther. Esther is a fruit carving artist. So if you want to watch somebody carve something magnificent, go follow her. She is Glorious. Is it Glorious Creations? I forget. So there's a couple of different airbrush systems out on the market. You have a cordless system, which I have this one. This was from TMP. I don't know if they're making these anymore, but you can find these off of Amazon now, a cordless. You plug it in, you let it charge, and then you push the button. Air comes out, and then you pull this back, but you have to release the back of this to allow the air to flow. It's kind of I'm going to call it a stopper. And then you would airbrush. So we'll see that in a minute, maybe. Maybe. The cool thing about this is it's got a really deep well. A very deep well. And it has a lid. Bonus for a lid because I spill airbrush color all the time. So I just wanted to touch base about that. I had the cookie countess. There was another one I saw today. There is on the YouTubes. Oh, what was it? It said airbrush comparisons. It had Artfully Created, which is Beast Baked Arts. It had the Cookie Countess. It had the Air Genie. And something else. Was that 4? Artfully Designed, Air Genie, Beast, Cookie Countess. Anywho, one of them had a cap, and I don't remember which one. I want to say it was the one from Artfully Designed. Had it. Where these don't have a cap. So you have to be careful you know, that you don't like, A, put too much color in them, and B, you know, they come flopping all over. This is a single action gun. Same thing with this one. What does it mean by single action? When you pull back on your trigger, your air right now. I should have put my thing on D&D. Anywho's, what was I going to tell you? Oh, single action. You pull back, your air and your color comes out at once. A dual action brush, you'd have to push down on it and then pull back, because nothing comes out. You can push down and you'll get air, but you won't get color. So that's the difference. My Cookie Countess airbrush has been through many colors, and I clean it and it still comes out looking like this all the time. So there is the cool thing about this one is when you're putting your airbrush, it goes in as opposed to hanging out on the side. So I like that. And it does collect color, so you'd have to clean it occasionally. So we'll put that over there out of the way. I always use my airbrush on high because I control the speed with this. Because if you have it on low and you're doing this, it's going to take forever for you to get through what you're doing. So let's take this apart. I'm going to flip y'all over. Hold on a minute. I got a flippy tool to you, and I think I'm going to raise you up a little bit. Uno momento. Whoa, hello. Who wants to get sick to their stomach tonight? All right, here I go. We're going around. Oh, hello. Hi, I'm going to knock stuff down. Where am I? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So don't be afraid of your airbrush. Number one, get it out of the box, and start using it. This is a 4mm gun, which means this opening is 4 millimeters. This is fantastic for traditional colors. What do I call those things? Metallics and dusts. You want to use a 5mm. And many of the cookie airbrush companies have got 5mm guns. I know that Jeannie's airbrush, the Air Genie, she has one, but her end is pink. This, again, is the Cookie Countess. The 5mm gun is gold. Okay? And they all connect with this tube. Tube connects to your airbrush. I leave it connected. I don't ever take it apart. If I want to swap out guns, all I do is unscrew this and then screw the next one in. And you're good to go. The Pegasus, no, one of them, I don't remember which one, has kind of the same thing, but it's got a thing you pull and it pops out and you push it back in. So you don't have to do one of these numbers. I don't have that one. I just saw it on the comparisons and thought I would mention it. So I'm going to screw this back on. Now, you want to take your gun apart. Here's the thing. When I rinse mine, I just put this under the faucet and I pull back on it to let it get its gunk out. You want to do that with a tepid water. Him right now. Oh my gosh. Dylan?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. I need you to call Jamie, please. I'll text him and tell him I'm calling back. I'm in the middle of something. Come here and I'll give you the phone number. I don't know what I'm doing. What was I telling you? See, that's what happens when I get interrupted. Oh, cleaning it. There are small little gaskets in here. You never want to use hot water because that can warp those gaskets and things that you can't see that are internal. So what you'd want to do is unscrew the back, maybe. Okay. And then unscrew this little doodad. And then I'm going to take off my front.
You still want me to text over?
Yeah, I need to text him. Hold on one second. Give me your phone. Technical difficulties. One moment, please. Enjoy this music while you wait. Doodly doo. Do 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 do.
You gotta back that up.
Yeah. I think that's it. Nope, that's not it. Let's try that number again, shall we? All right. It's work stuff. Okay, answer his questions. Probably about lunch tomorrow or lunch today. 2 minutes, son. Anywho, so you can take that apart. There's your front doodle piece. Here's your back doodle piece. And then you can pull your needle out. Now I did see on Jeannie where she had talked about taking this front piece apart high. And you could unscrew this and pull the needle forward. That way, if there was any color on it, you're not pulling it back through the gun. Now you can see I haven't cleaned this in a while. So I have some airbrush color on here. So all I need to do, and what I'm gonna do, oops, don't lose your pieces. I'm just gonna take a paper towel, a damp paper towel. Maybe I'm just gonna wipe it off for now. I have heard, and I haven't done it, but I have heard that you can soak your airbrush parts in vinegar, and that's supposed to help clean them. Let's see. You can also get replacement needles, I believe, for this. I don't know why you would need it, but there you go. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put him back in the back of this. Try not to stab yourself. Okay, it's coming out the front. Can you see that's coming out the front? Where's my thingy? There we go. I'm going to put this little nut on the back. Really tight. Then I'm going to tighten up my handle. Really tight. And then this little bad boy always wants to come loose because I don't seem to tighten it up enough. And sometimes I found it in the sink, in a bowl. Thank God it hasn't gone down the sink. So you want to make sure, I'm going to use this because my hands aren't as strong as they used to be, just kind of make it tight. There is a wrench, I believe, that comes in this, but who knows where my box is? I have no clue. 1 second. See if he answers. So what I'm going to show you, I have some old dead cookies. That's a dead cookie. Look at that cookie. And I'm going to show you some airbrushing ideas. Jamie?
Hi, you reached Jamie with H-House.
Yeah, all right. Just tell him to call you, please. I'm on a live. Whatever he needs, and I'll answer his question. So let's do some stenciling. So what happens if you don't have a stencil holder? How are you going to stencil? Well, I have a trick. So I take the back of a metal pan, or let's say your cookie's too big and it won't fit in your stencil holder. So I'll take a metal pan, and then I will grab a paper towel, and that was damp from wiping something off. And then you need some magnets. Now I've gotten these from Home Depot. Any hardware store will have these. I'm gonna set my cookie down. And I'm gonna put my stencil on top. Where's my stencil? I'm gonna do a back, what?
You said all good.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know what the problem was, but okay, fine. Let's do this. I'm gonna do a leaf for a background first. So I'm gonna set my leaf down, and I think what I wanna do is make sure that this doesn't move. So 2 magnets actually for my cookies are pretty much the right size and they hold the stencil down, because I didn't have a stencil holder for a while. And I learned this from one of the cookie groups I was in. So I've got my 4 corners. And then I can put my stencil on top. And I'm gonna put my magnet down. And that's stuck together. 2 more. And my magnet down. And my magnet down. Now, I'm going to take 2 different colors and I'm going to do the edges of the colors in my regular airbrush. Let's see, let's do a orange. This is from the Cookie Countess. And let me do a golden yellow and maybe a little red. So let's see what happens. Now the other thing too, I don't clean my airbrush out every time. I will turn on my airbrush machine and I'll blow it out and then put the next color in and just kind of blow it out. And then when I'm done, I'll rinse it. Oh, by the way, this thing on the table, on the counter, gotta get one of these. This is from the Cookie Countess. This is their protective mat. This does fantastic keeping your counters clean. I love this thing. I use it all the time. All right, so we're gonna turn on our airbrush. It is on full blasting. Okay, oops. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the yellow because I wanna do this in parts. Now I'm not using a stencil holder because I wanna show you how to do this properly without getting underspray. We hope. So I'm put a little yellow in the, make sure you close it because you know, I've shaken these before and I've had airbrush color go all over. First thing you want to do is always check to make sure that your color is coming out. And I'm good with that. Now, you don't hold this at an angle. You don't come in sideways. You hold it straight up and down, low and slow. You build up the color. You don't go in there and blast the crap out of it. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to do the edges of that. Just randomly throughout my cookie. I don't know what these leaves look like as far as real colors, so you know, who cares? It's a cookie, Brenda. So I'm just going to come in and put my color on. Don't be afraid of your airbrush. Get it out and practice with it. First time I took mine out, I was like, oh my gosh. I splattered color all over. I made a mess. The only way you're going to get to learn your airbrush is to take it out and use it. Now I still have some yellow in here. That's okay, because I'm going to go in and mix some orange. So when I mix the orange, I'm going to put some orange in here. 2 drops, 3 drops maybe. Here's a trick. I'm going to blend these colors together in the airbrush. So I'm going to take my napkin, paper towel, whatever, and I'm going to hold it against here. Okay, you can hear it. And I'm going to pull back on the trigger. You see it bubbling? That's mixing that color together. Now let's see what I get. I'll probably get kind of an orange color. So I'm going to take and go back on my stencil. Maybe go on the other edge, on the other side. And you notice I'm pulling back just a little bit and I'm just going across this very easily. I'm not blasting. I'm building up the color. I'll go back over it again to see what I need. Want a little more here, a little more there, a little more here, here a bit, there a bit, everywhere a spot, but. Okay, now, I think I want red. So I can get rid of this now, or I could add red to it. Look at, I got it all over. See? Always wear gloves. I wound up getting it all over my hands from my brush. But I think I'm going to blow this out. So I'm going to blow out my color. Don't do that over top of your cookie. You'll wind up getting it on your cookie and then you're going to be mad. So Let me take a little bit of red. See, when I open the thingy, it gets on me. A little bit of red, just a couple drops. You don't need a lot. Spray that again. All right, I like it. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to go again. And just do a little bit different sides, maybe the tip, maybe I'm crazy. Come in the middle, go around. I'm going slowly, I'm building up color. I'm not doing that. See what I did? That's what'll happen. You don't want to blast it. You want to build it slow. Back and forth. Easy. Back and forth. Okay, now let's take a look. So I move my magnet. And there's my cookie. With my beautiful leaf cutter. So you've got colors, you've got what you want on here, your fall colors, or whatever you're doing. Now you could do that in another way. Let's say I wanted to do this, but I wanted this one to be red and that one to be yellow. I could put a piece of tape over that. 3M tape is food safe. You can actually get food tape. I use painter's tape. And I'll just put a piece of tape over top of it and then come back, because this is not a 2-part stencil, but I could make it a 2-part stencil by doing that. So let me close these up, because God knows it's going to go everywhere. So that is basically your cookie by building up your color using your brush and blending up those 3 colors together. Or whatever colors you want to use. I'm just going to stick this in here for a second, just to kind of get it wet, kind of clean it out a little bit. I still have some red in here. You can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's still some red. But that's okay, because as I go along and continue on with my other cookie parts, I can fix that. So that is your doing a background stencil on an old dead cookie. I'm going to keep this for just a second because I want to show you the difference. So I'm going to come in here. And let's see. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Do I want black? Let's do black. I'm going to put some black in here. Again, don't do it over top of your cookie in case you spill it. Been there, done that. Spray it. Now let's say I've not done this before, right? Now I'm going to come in here and I want to do my cookie, and I'm going around and I'm putting the color down because that's what I want. And I'm just spraying, and I've sprayed all the color out of my gum. What do you think that's going to look like when you're done? It's going to look a hot mess. It's all over the stencil. And it's going to be all over your cookie. And it's going to be, actually that's not splotchy. Normally that would be splotchy because I just sprayed the heck out of it. But if you notice, there's some shading around the sides. Notice how this goes here and it's sprayed, and there's overspray. There's overblast on this cookie. You can see it here, see it here. Yeah, it looks good. It's nice and black. But you don't want all that overspray. And this will take forever to dry, and you've saturated it, and this is going to need to dry for quite a while. And if you touch it, it's going to smear. So don't do that. Don't do that. Now, you know what I have? I have a couple of stencil holders. So let's take a look. Let me get rid of my magnets. Get rid of my pan. Let's see. Whoa, hello, where'd it go? Oh. There. 6 to the pan all over the place. Okay. Let me set that here. let me get a couple of other ones that I have. So, I'm going to turn that off for a second because the rattling's driving me nuts. So here's a couple things to keep in mind. I have 3 different, sure I do. There it is. So I have 3 different silk screen toppers. This one is from the Cookie Count, no. It's sold on the Cookie Countess website, but this is actually Jeannie's from the Creative Cookier. So the same thing would be the stenciled Jeannie. This would work the same way. You would take, and I don't have my stencil Jeannie. I can't find it. I don't know where it's disappeared to. So I'm going to show you on a different product. That's not what I'm looking for. I used it this morning. 1 minute. Right in front of my face. I know it's in front of my face because I used it. Y'all see it anywhere? It's a stencil holder. Where did I put it? Y'all, I'm discombobulated. My brain is still at CookieCon. I have not, I've not gotten out of the con in my head yet. I'll find it in a minute. But I want you to look at the differences. So this is a silk screen. Okay, you can hear that? Okay, so it kind of gives you an idea of how loose the mesh is for your cookie. Okay. Now this one is from 3 Sweet Chicks. It's got a deeper sound to it. I use this one all the time to stencil, and I use this one to stencil as well as airbrushing. When I did my class at CookieCon, I used this with the stencil Jeannie. Then, like I said, I have this one. Just so you can hear the difference in the denseness of the silk. Gives you an idea, just kind of how they sound. Now, if Belinda can find her stencil holder that I'm probably looking right at and can't see, unbelievable. We use this one. I have 2 of them. I broke one, but this one we can use, same thing. Like I had told everybody at the con, when you're stenciling or you're airbrushing, make a template of your cookie. Lift up your sweetest, this is from the Sweetest Tears. I have a 15% coupon code. You'll save 15% from anything on the Sweetest Tears website. Sweetest Tears, and I'll put the link in later. But I am in love with this contraption. So you would put your cookie thingy here. There's my template, right? And then every time I set my cookie down, I set it in the same spot. Here I go, I'm stenciling, airbrush, take it off, put the next cookie on. It's always in the same spot because after a while you can't see through your stencils. Where is that? That's gonna drive me nuts, you guys. I'm probably looking right at it. Oh, and there's also this one. This is a stencil snap. Oh, who's this from? Who's the Sweet Sugar Bell? That's it. This is from the Sweet Sugar Bell. It's adjustable, so you can make it long or short. I have a stencil that is a bit bigger. That did not fit in here. The cookie didn't fit in here, so I had to use this. I couldn't use my silk screen toppers because it didn't fit. However, this was a 7-inch cookie. 7-inch cookie. The Sweetest Tears also has, I want to say it fits a 5-inch cookie now. It's a little bit bigger, and it does have an adapter, so when you put your silk screen, not your silk screen, whatever these things are called, stencils. When you put your stencils on it, it'll hold it in place. And the cool thing about it is it's wide enough that you could actually, if you had a background stencil like this, you could airbrush both of them at the same time, which is very cool. So for this, I'm going to put this one back on here. It fits. Then I'm going to put on my, let's see, what should we do? Oh, how about this one? Fall is in the air. This is from Stencil Expressions. It's on her website. Her website is, you can download and you can cut these at home. So then I put on my stencil. Then I put on my stencil topper. And then I put on my broken piece. Why did it break? Because, I'll tell you why it broke. That's why it broke. When you pick these up, you want to slide them off. You don't want to lift them up. And I lifted it up and it cracked. It cracked after many uses. So we're going to, because it's a very strong magnet that's on here. So actually I'm going to take this one off and set it aside. Put this one on. Hello. Okay, so here's my cookie. Now you could see how it would be beneficial, because after you start spraying, you would have your, you know, put your template underneath so that it's always, like I said, it's always in the same spot. So again, same concept without the, what's it called? Whatever I did here, without using the screen topper. All right, let's see. Let's go with, I've got orange, let's go with, what's a pretty color? What's a pretty color? Pretty color. Should I go with lemon? No, that's not going to show up. Let's do a purple. Why not? So we'll do purple. And I'm going to use the same brush. It's over here making noise. Put some purples in there. Spray some of it out. Yeah, that's cool. And then I'm going to come in and do the same thing, but I'm going to, again, I'm going to build up the color. Slowly. I'm not going to blast it, because I don't want to blast it. Up and down, not sideways. You can go back and forth, you can go in a circle. Now let's take a look and see what this looks like. Maybe I want a little more color. I just have to set that back down. You can't do that by lifting a stencil off the top of it, because you'll never ever get the stencil back on to the same spot, ever. So you want to come in and here's your cookie. Actually, I like the purple. Now, a couple other things that you'll want to do. You can take a damp and just wipe the top of it, just to wipe off some excess if you want to. I get lazy because I get tired. I'm like, oh, I don't want to take it out and clean it. Can I just get one more out of it? You can always look behind and see if there's any extra excess here, and just kind of wipe. Be careful. You don't want to wipe these hard. One of the things you want to do is when you're drying your stencils, you're going to take your paper towel, put it in your paper towel and pat it dry. You don't want to be swiping, because as you do that, the delicate parts on your stencil, like this here, if you can see this, that could come out, that could break. It's kind of hanging on by a thread there. So you want to make sure, same thing with your O, or, you know, delicate stencils, don't rub. Now, let me squirt some, I got purples, I got poiples in there. So let's take a look at, so you saw this one. I'm going to show the other two on top of here only because I can't find my other one. Just so you can see the difference in the screens. Why the heck is that one? I don't know. So let's go with this guy. And I'm going to set this down and set this on top. And, oh, this looks like teeth. That's pretty funny. It's just going to go here. Yeah, that's fine. What flavor is this? It's purple? I did purple, didn't I? Because I want you to see the difference in the mesh thicknesses of the screens. This one's a little more, I'm going to say forgiving. This one, you'll need a little more color. Same thing. I'm going to come in and I'm going to go slow. I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to go back and forth. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure you say replay. And if you've got questions, I'll come back in after this live and I'll answer them. So I'm building up color, right? So that way you can kind of see. This one took a little more than this one did. And that's just because of the differences in the tightness of the mesh. So that was that one. Slide it. Where's my other one? Then I have this other one here. Hang on, I need a cookie. These were dead cookies that have been sitting around for probably 4 months, and I frosted them last night so I could use them. I knew I'd come in handy. So let's do for fun. Let's see if I can find the back side of this. Oh, my stencil, where are you? Okay. So this is one of those, it's a 2-part stencil. I think it's actually 3-part, but I don't know where the 3rd part is. I'm going to come in because it's a little damp. You don't want to put a wet stencil on your cookie because you know what happens to water and icing. Not cool. All right. Same thing, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do a layer and I'm going to put this screen on. Again, this should go with your stencil Genie, not with this particular device. And I'm going to do very light pass with this purple. And you can see I'm not blasting the crap out of it. I'm just putting a little light color in the background because I want to do something else on the top. So there's my background, and it's fine. Now I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to put this in. I'm going to line him up right back where my other one was, and this is how you would do a 2-part stencil. Now I think I want to do another color with this purple. Let me put a little black in it. Let's mix some black and see what happens. And let's do a back fill. Not over top of your cookie. Okay, and I'm gonna hold this right here against this. And you can see it, that's how I'm mixing it. You can see the bubbling. Double bubble boiling trouble, right? Now I'm gonna bring this back over. And I'm gonna put the roses on. Same thing, I'm gonna go slow. So it made it a little bit darker purple. So if you don't have the color you want, just mix another color with it. Just mix another color with it. What, am I going through the puberty again? Oh my goodness. I'm 900 years old, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go through and build up that color a little at a time. You don't have to blast the entire screen. You can just come into the exact location that you're wanting to work on and go back over it and back over it, back and forth. Don't blast it. Up and down, not like this. Make sure your cup's not super full, so when you go like this, it doesn't go ploop and land on your cookie. Been there, done that. I did that this morning. I tipped it the wrong way and I had a little bit come out on the cookie. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. How pretty is that? Now you could take this cookie and you could actually stencil swipe, scrape stencil swipe over top of it, which I do quite a bit. I put a background stencil on and then I scrape over top. I did some of these for a gal for her 60th birthday. Kind of did the same thing. And then it was a pretty nice background, and then I scraped over top and it said happy 60th or whatever. Isn't that pretty? So you've got to get your brush out and practice. Here's one of the things that I want you to take from this as well. Let's move this guy over here. Practice with your brush on a piece of paper. You don't have to have a cookie. And get to your paper and practice writing with it. I could not do that when I first started. So make sure, practice. Like I said, you don't want to come like this, because you can see what happens. It'll get underneath the stencil. You don't want to come like this, because then your stuff's going to come out. And just practice. Practice, practice. You want to be, you're in control of the brush, right? Twin. Practice, practice, practice. Get it out and mess with it. Now, let me show you this other brush. What's the one I was talking about? Oh yeah, and I gotta show you the other thingy. Hang on, what time is it? Oh, we're good. We're good. I'm gonna let this sit here for just a second. Somehow, in my bag of tricks, I cannot find my eyedropper anywhere. I have an eyedropper. I have two of them, actually. It came with my brush. Think Belinda can find it? Heck no. Un momento. I need alcohol. Anybody have some alcohol for me? Alcohol. When in doubt, improvise. So, in Michigan, I can get Everclear. What is this, 151 proof? So, this is some dust from the Sugar Art. This is a sterling pearl. I'm going to put this in my, when I find it, hello, I'm going to put it in this gun. This is the 5mm gun, and it comes apart the same way as the one I showed you earlier. And we're going to put a little bit of Everclear in here and hope for the best. Not a lot. Let me see. I have a doodad. I need a doodad. I have a lot of doodads. I want to mix that color up. Hold on. Pampered Chef. If you need Pampered Chef, hit me up. I'm a Pampered Chef consultant, and I can hook you up with all kinds of the greatest cookie tools you'll never think you needed. So I'm gonna put a little bit more Everclear in here. I probably put in too much. Actually, that looks pretty good. Now, if I had my eyedropper, I could drop it into my brush. But since I can't find it, I'm going to improvise. And this is actually to cut, oh, it's got orange on it. Hold on. I forgot I used that last night. I had to put dust in a gun. Not a gun. A pump. Dust in a pump. Have I told you guys that I can't speak English? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, this is actually a fruit carver. You could go through and, you know, make your cucumbers or your watermelons. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this one off, unscrew it, so I don't have to swap out this. Set that aside. Put in my 5mm gun. Spinneroonie. Okay. I'm going to attempt, the great Belinda is going to attempt to fill her airbrush color by using this handy dandy tool because she cannot find her. Wait, is it in here? Oh, no. Dang. All right, I'm just gonna do this. Maybe I'm not. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I can make a mess. Look at that. Just like downtown, man. When in doubt, improvise. So that's kind of the color concentration you would want for your your dusts in your, oh, it's gonna thunder. For your dusts in your thingy. Help me out. You know what I'm trying to say. It's not coming out of my brain head today. Let me take this. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. I'm just going to put this rose color thing back on here just for this demonstration. And just set this, maybe not. There's a negative pole and a south pole and a north pole on your magnet. And I'm going to do the same thing. I've got my color and we're just going to airbrush through it. Sometimes you'll have to spray it on the side. Check the color. And you would do this with any metallic or any dust that you're using. See the shimmer? So let's say I want to come in here and I just want to add some highlight to the edge. Because you're going to give it a shadow. This is where you need to practice that. Practice writing with your gun. I'm coming in a little harsh so you guys can see it. But you wouldn't want to be that harsh when you're actually doing it. I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of color. So now that I did that, let me grab one of my metallics. This is my 14 karat gold from the Cookie Countess. Most of my airbrush colors are from the Cookie Countess. I don't think I have some from AmeriColor and some from Chef Master, but the majority of them are from Cookie Countess. And I'm just going to put it in here with the paint because I don't care right now. And I'm going to spray it. You know what I want to do? Hang on. You can see the shimmer. I don't know if you guys can see that shimmer. Can you see the shimmer? Whoopsie. Hello, come loose. I need a piece of, oh, here, paper towel. Sometimes when I'm doing cookies and I want to add some flavor to them, and I'll show you in a minute because I have a different color in here, but let's say I want to come back and I want to spray this entire cookie with gold. Again, you layer that, you don't blast it. Build up that color. It makes for a nice presentation. Don't stick your fingers in it, because if you stick your fingers in it, you will smudge it. See, like that? And now I'm going to go try to cover that up. And now it's going to look stupid. And it's always going to look like that. And you want to wait till these are completely dry. Usually I'll wait, if I'm doing metallics, I'll wait 24 hours before I even try to attempt to bag them, because I want to make sure they're completely dry. Now I want to take this cookie that we already did. Let me get my gold out of here. I need to wipe it. Let me wipe the inside a little bit. I just want to clean a smidge of Rooney, because I've got some other metallic in here. And this is fine. This won't hurt your gun. I just kind of give it a spin with some paper towel. And then wiped it out. Let me show you what pearl looks like on top of this. It's gorgeous, and it gives your cookie a whole nother look. It looks very sophisticated. Opposite of Belinda. Okay, so we're gonna put this in here. I buy my AmeriColor on the AmeriColor website. I also have a Chef Master coupon that ends the end of the month. If you go to the chefmaster.com, you get 10% off anything. Does not include shipping or tax. 10% off if you spend $25 or more. And the code is BS Cookie Basket. B's Cookie Basket. And again, I'll put this in the thingamajiggy. So here I'm going to come with this color. And I'm just going to come over this with this pearl. And just straight on the, what's this thing called? Cookie. Straight on the cookie. Because I want to give it a different kind of a sheen. Now you could do this on the background before you do your other parts, or you can come in and do it on the top afterwards. Just to give it a, now I'm actually pulling back quite hard on this one because it's a sheen. Just to give it a cover. And I've got my machine at full blast, so you can hear the difference. Hang on. That's low. Now look, I'm not getting any air out of that at all. There's medium. Hardly any air is coming out. High. There it is. And that's what you want. Because you want to be able to control the brush yourself. Or the gun, I should say. I don't know why they call it a brush, because it's a gun. But I'll just keep building this up. You don't want it to be super tacky looking as far as, touching it. But if you can see the shine on here, it gives it a really cool effect, especially when they're dry. And I have pearl, I have silver. Ooh, thunder. Now, let me see if I can get that out. Another thing too, you could do your own pearl. Let's say I wanted to add a little, well, let's say I want to add orange to this. And I've got the pearl already in there. I can just add some. And then I can blend it. And then I can make my pearlescent color in orange. And you can see the shine. There you go. Anything you want to do. All right, now what I'd like to do, I'm going to wash that out in a minute. Let me show you the cordless one. I need to rinse these off. I've got all these dirty now. This one's not so bad. I'll use this one. Let me get these out of the way. I am so dumb. My thing is sitting right over here. I've got my cookie dehydrator tray on top of it. That's why I couldn't find it. I knew it was here. Have a nice day. All right, here's the broken one. I'm gonna grab this out. I'm gonna grab this stencil. This is from 2T's. I use this in my my class at CookieCon, and it's missing a piece now, I think. There's a piece of pumpkin, yeah, right here where it came out. But that's okay, it's no big deal. It's a background stencil. I should clean this, but it'll be okay because it's not really gonna pick up much color. Oh, another thing. Let's say you're scraping. I got a great idea too. Scrape white with whatever you're doing, and then you can come back in after that's scraped on here, and you could take your airbrush and actually add the color on top of the scraped white. So you don't have, if you don't want to mix the color, you can just do it in white and then airbrush it on. Cookie, you need a cookie. All right, so we're gonna take this one. This one is from I know who it is. She's got purple cutters. Come on now, help me out. To Shay B. So on this one, here's my cordless. I pop open my cap. Like I said, this thing's got a big old reservoir. So this is really good if you're doing a crap ton of cookies. Outrageously orange. Don't do this over your cookie, but I'm doing it for demonstrational purposes. So you see, very little I put in there. And this bad boy still could take a whole lot more. Put on the cap. That it doesn't flippy doodle over. Hit my button. Make sure this is open all the way. So right now, air is coming out of this gun. Okay? Now I'm going to take and do the same thing. I'm going to turn it like this, and I'm going to spray. And I'm just going to build up color. I'm not going to blast it. It's on top of my screen. You'll see that the color will start to bubble up on your screen because you got to get through the screen to get to the cookie. But the screen, in my opinion, gives you a cleaner, neater look. Turn it off. Let's take a look. How cute is that? Is that not the cutest little background stencil ever? I love it. So, just to recap, this is called the Sweetest Tears stencil holder. Comes in 2 sizes. It comes with this. Actually, it has 2, where's it at? There we go. Slide it. It comes with 2 of these. This, a thicker one and a thinner one. Like I said, this is my old one. So you can see, I broke it, I dropped it and it broke, and the magnet fell out. So it comes with the 2. That way, if your cookie's a little taller, you need more room, or a little thinner, vice versa. So this one is 15% off with my coupon code Bees Cookie Basket. This is an adapter piece that you can buy in addition. I love, 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 love this. Then you have, from the Cookie Countess, you can get it on her website, is the Screen Genie. This is geniesdreamproducts.com. And it says Screen Genie right here. You can see it says Screen Genie. Now, she also is going to be coming out with, this comes off. So let's say you've sprayed a bunch of cookies and you don't feel like cleaning it. You can take this gasket off. Hello. You can take the gasket off. You could toss this aside and put a whole new screen in it. And then clean them when you're done. Or if they get holes in them for some reason or something happens, and then you just take your gasket and push it all the way around. Push it back into place. I want to say it was going to be like $25 or $29.95 for a set of 3 additional screens. I don't know if they're out yet. When I mean screens, I mean the replacement screens. So there's your, this. This one is from 3 Sweet Chicks. This one is not very pricey. This one is, and this one is, but this is very high quality. This is stretched really tight and bonded to the frame. Where, again, this one comes out, and this one has a glued in gasket. And I've been using this for a few years now. And yes, it's wooden, and they do put a coating on it, but that's come off, but I still use it. I use all of them because I use different applications for everything. Okay, let me set this here. There was something else I wanted to show you. We talked about, I showed you the dual screen. I showed you the airbrush, cordless airbrush. I'm hot as can be right now. It's very warm in here today. Oh, is there anything else I need to tell you? We talked about the dusts. Mix it with a little Everclear. Put it in your gun. Make sure you rinse your gun out with a tepid water, not hot, not cold. All I do is take it over to the sink. I put water in here and I just spray until it's clean. I know they do have a couple of products where you can actually blow this into it's like a airbrush cleaning kit with a lid. So you could just blow it in there. You'd pour water in it and blow it in. But you know, I'm right by the sink. But if you're not by the sink, you know, you need something to clean that with. Or you can just pour water through and do that. So we did a background stencil with a 2-part with the rose. This was my cutter, by the way. I designed that cutter. And we did the pumpkin background, which is 2 T's. Whoa! Knock your brush off. Then I did, see now the gold, it's pretty much dry, but it's still kind of sticky. See, like right there where I just stuck my thumb. See, it's not dry here. So now that would make you very angry if you were like to put that in a bag. Another thing you could do with this is dust it very lightly with some cornstarch before you put it in your bags, and you shouldn't have a problem. But I let them dry completely overnight. And then this, we showed you how to do the 3 different colors, along with, we did this without the stencil screens, just by building up color, and then adding the top, and then I covered this in a pearl, the Pearl Sheen by Americolor. And then this rando cookie is the one, and it's still not dry. This is the one I blasted the color on, and you can see the black misty overspray shadow. Can you freeze? Yes, you can. I have frozen airbrush cookies. Just make sure they're completely dry. And again, put a little cornstarch on the top. All right, I'm gonna flip you guys around. Be afraid, be very afraid. Okay, you bought some silkscreen on Amazon, cut it into squares, lay it on top of the stencils in between. What are you talking about, Megan? Hold on. Well, oh yeah. You know, you can also go to like Joann's and get yourself a embroidery hoop and get yourself some 110 mesh silkscreen. Put it in the embroidery hoop and there you go. Let's see. What else do you guys want to know? Let me go back and see what this dries pretty quickly, a few minutes in front of a fan. Yep. Dust with cornstarch. Yep. When you scrape a stencil, do you also use this? I do. You want me to scrape one? I think I got some yellow. Hold on. We're gonna go back around. Woohoo! 1 second. I have yellow from last night. I think. Yes, I do. You are in for a treat, boys and girls. So let me show you the consistency that I use. And I always use a fork to mix up my color. So let's see where I'm at. Yeah, this needs some water. This is too thick. Well, you know what? No, maybe not. Let me look. Let me get it swirly dooed around. Because my piping for words and stuff, and what do you call that thing? I made leaves with this yesterday, so this is a little bit broken down, you know, because it disintegrates a little at a time. So what you're looking for is the Dairy Queen swirl, where it flippy doodles over. Okay. Now, let's do it on the pumpkin. I'll put on the pumpkin. Where my thingy? Okay. Hello. This thing has got a super strong magnet. Come on off. Let me rinse this. Hold on a second. Rinse this off. And when you rinse it, it rinses pretty quickly. I use hot water to warm water on these. I've had no problem. And they do look like they're stained, but that's not going to come off on your cookie. Hold on a minute. Okay. Give it a wipe. Clean it off. And I prefer a heavier scraper thingy. Move out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna put my trick or treat down. Then I'm gonna put my thingamajiggy. And then this thingamajiggy. I use a sweet sugar bell. This is stained. Let me wipe that off a little bit more. If you were at CookieCon, you got a purple one in your swag from Truly Mad Plastics. I have it over here somewhere, and I'm probably looking right at it. You have no idea how many times I look for stuff and it's right in front of my face. So annoying. Okay, oh, helps if you put a cookie in there. Oh my, see, look, there went my airbrush color because I broke my rule and I didn't close the thingy. Moron. Okay. Got my, make sure I'm in the frame. So here's my cookie, right? You know what I'm gonna do? Where's my black? Guess what? You can add airbrush color to your color if you want. Let's try and make this a little darker color, just so it'll show up instead of just that yellow. Green pukey color. That's perfect for Halloween. But I want you to be able to see it through the screen. I mean cookie, because the cookie's got orange on it. All right, good enough. Army green. Hey, who knew? So I'm going to take my color, and we're just doing this quickly. Didn't clean it well. And I'm going to put some on my scraper doodle. God, I did make a mess, didn't I? Such a mess. I should be called the messy cookier. All right, and then I'm going to scrape hard. Can you hear that? I'm scraping it down hard. I'm wiping it off, and then I come back in. I want to be able to see the words. There you go. Actually, I kind of like that color. The key is consistency, and the key is practice. I like the way that came out. Very cool. So when you're doing it on you just want to remember that when you're doing this, you don't want to overload your color, but you want to come down and push in the color through the silk. Same thing with a silk screen stencil, a regular silk screen. You push down through it to get your color on, then you come up and you scrape and you wipe and you scrape. And you want to scrape hard. You want to hear that, because you want to be able to see the words. And then when you lift it up, now sometimes, well, I didn't have a cookie, but you'll notice sometimes when you come through here, you might get it might be like that. So you want to make sure to open up your stencil holder and maybe just give it a swipe in case you have gotten some kind of, you got overexcited with your scrape and it just kind of went through a little too much. And then you don't have to take your stencil out and redo it. You just wipe it. Same thing here. I could take this and take my screen and I could just go like this carefully, because remember I said you don't want to wipe. You want to pat. And then you take some of that color off the top, or take a little bit of a damp cloth and just kind of wipe it. Because now the thing is, now that I've done this, if I put another cookie in here, I can't see to line it up. But with my template in place underneath, I just set that underneath there, underneath this, right? Set my thingy in here with the first cookie, and then every time I set it down, line it up. Set it down, line it up. Greatest invention ever. This is the greatest invention ever. So there you go. How long does airbrush take to dry? It dries pretty quick. Like this. We did this, what, a few minutes ago? It's dry. The only time it's not dry is when you do something like this and you blast the crap out of it. It's still not dry. But when you do it low, slow, steady, it'll dry. By the time you put another cookie in, that'll be dry. I really like that barmy green color. All right, let's see if there was anything else that you guys had questions for. I'll cut it in squares. Yep, Yes, you can freeze. Yes, you can do that. The size of the weave on the silk, I don't know. I'm assuming this is a 110 or 115. When I've made my silk screen stencils, this is a 110 in here. So I would assume that's probably about it. I think the difference is because that is super stretched and the way it's molded into the frame, it's taut, so that you're not getting any dippy doodle from it. I have not seen any all natural food colors, but I'm sure they're out there. The clear stencil, this one here, it is, let's do this, hang on, if I can spell, S-W-E-E-T, that's it. And I'll put it in the group thingy when we're done here. Sweetest Tears, not tears as in cry, but tears as in cake. I love this. It is pricey, but it's worth every penny. Oh, I forgot to show you this. Oh, duh. Do we have time? Give me 5 more minutes, guys. I want to show you something else. I just thought about it. Oh, such a dork. Let me rinse out my guy again. Hang on a second. There's one more thing I want to show you. Let this sit here for a second. I go through paper towels like crazy. I wanted to show you about the tape. So this cookie here, what I did this all at one swoop. What I did was I covered the pieces that I didn't want at the time with tape. Like I said, I used painter's tape, but you can get food tape, but 3M says that tape is safe. I can put it on the outside of the screen, so I'm not touching this cookie, or I can put it on the stencil, on the top of the stencil. What I did was I did this color, and then I covered that up when it was dry. Then I came back in and did these two together, because I covered this, and then I did the hat. So they're all different colors. You can do the same thing with scraping your stencil too. You just got to cover up the pieces. Oh, let's see. Megan Webb said she just hit 110. Thanks. Okay. How many cookies can you scrape before needing to clean? Well, that's a good question. I'm going to say it depends on how heavy-handed you are, how much frosting you put on. I have done probably 10. I know some people who've done 20. And it's only because sometimes I want to be able to see it, or it starts to kind of, your stencil on top, which is sandwiched, will start to get thick and crusty, and you won't go through the stencil like you need to get the color the way you want it. Inspired, take that out. Dora, get that out of the box. Just play with it. Play with it on old dead cookies. Play with it on a paper towel. That's all you have to do, and then you'll be fine. Thank you, Caroline. Let's see what we got here. Blah, 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 blah. Humana. Oh, yeah, let me show you that real quick. I gotta find my tape. 1 second. I think it's over here. No tape over here. I lose stuff all the time. It's probably right in front of my face. Look, oh, what'd I tell you? Right here. All right, let's flip you over. I'm gonna do one more. So I've got this clean now. I need to put this, oopsie. Oh, I got it all over my, oh man. The sloppy baker. I got it all over my airbrush. What's that thing called? The cord, the air cord. I just got frosting all over it. No surprise there. I've got color on my hands, color on my frosting. Whatevs. What was I gonna do? I need a... Oh, okay, I can use this again. So, we did trick or treat. So I can actually come in and I could put tape over the candy corns. Right? Let me rinse this. Trick or treat. Smell my feet. Give me something delicious to eat. Okay. And again, don't go. You want to have a couple of them, and you want to do that after you've got a couple towels on. You can do that, but don't do it with just on top of its stencil by itself, or one stencil. Do it with a couple on top of it. Oh, we tried. A little bit wet. You don't want a wet stencil on top of your cookie. It'll eat your frosting. All right, so here's my thingamajiggy, and I want to cover up. Let's say my cookie was too small, and this would hang off the bottom. I just take my tape, and I just lightly put it on top, and I set it on my cookie. Come to me. Come to me, round cookie. I hate round cookies. That one's actually not too bad. And then I could do, let's say, see, if I want to put that cookie here, stencil here, that would hang off, and I don't want that. I want the whole thing to be seen. So I can do it that way, or you can put this inside your holder. Just see, I don't want that on there like that. I want the whole thing to be seen or not seen. Or I can come right here and put it on top of my stencil holder. And then do this. So if you're, if you're freaked out about that tape touching your cookie, put it on the stencil holder. So that way it's on top. There's more chemicals in a Diet Coke than there is in the tape. Ooh, what do we got here? I still have orange in this. This one sprays out really fast, and I've noticed it kind of splatters sometimes. And I don't know if that's because it sits for too long and I don't use it enough. But again, you could go and find one of these on Amazon, because I don't think TMP makes these anymore. And there you go. So you did not get him. Painter's tape. Works every time. Oh boy. Per dozen, I really should raise my prices. You know, the twins are saying, raise your prices, raise those prices, raise your prices. I think I'm at 40 right now, and I think I'm going to have to start raising because I don't charge extra for they say, hey, I would like this to look like this, and they give me free reign. I do pretty much what I want on a cookie. So if I want to do the background, like I did the birthday set, she gave me a bunch of flour cookies for inspiration. But I was like, man, that's a lot of royal icing. They were all covered with flowers. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of royal icing. So I went delicate, and I did this with the other thing on top. But that was my choice. Is that for 100% airbrushed? Is that for 100%? What do you mean? I know, Megan, I know. Frank, what do you mean? Is that for 100% airbrushed? I sound like my airbrush machine. Frank, my darling, I don't know what you're talking about. You need to be more specific. Price per dozen. Yeah, right now it's 40. It needs to go up. Yes, $40 a dozen is what I was charging. And the cost of flour and sugar, I know. And butter. Butter is probably, vanilla has come down. Have you noticed that? I was looking at Mexican vanilla the other day, and it's not as expensive as it was. Yeah, I do a bunch of different designs. So let's say I might do 3 designs like I did. I did this background. I did another flower that I have. And then I had one that was plain, like a plain, white cookie. And I just did a 60, and I swiped it with 60 and just left it plain. It was purple, and I had purple on top. I do not have an Airbuff. I don't have an Airbuff Facebook page. But you can always come and look at me on Facebook. It's B's Cookie Basket, BS Cookie Basket. And I do, a lot of times I'll go live on my page. And like I said, on Instagram, there's always, every day, I post to Instagram because you have to feed the machine. And it is Belinda _ BS _ cookie _ basket. Wow. Again, if anybody's watching on the replay, just say replay. If you've got questions, hit me up. You have questions, you can DM me. I'll answer you. I'll help you if you have a struggle. Research your airbrushes. Like I said, I love the Cookie Countess. It's reasonable. It does everything I need. I started out with a Cake Boss. Cake Boss is pretty similar to the Cookie Countess, but I think the Cookie Countess is a little elevated because you can adjust your dial. I did see one at CookieCon. Oh my God, it was $460 some. It was like a commercial one that you have a trigger, and it had a side cup. You could turn your cup to the side so it'd be out of the way. That might be on my list of things to get for Santa. Maybe. I forget what it's called. Grex? Grex, maybe? Maybe. And I know there's one from Badger. What's her name? Lady that does stencils with all the different things in the wafer paper. Julia Usher. She has an airbrush system too. So, get it out of the box. Get your Cricut out of the box. Get your 3D printer out of the box and start using them. You won't ever learn if you don't take them out. And that's an order. I says so, because I'm the mama. All right, guys. I'm going to let you all go, and I'll post those links and the coupon codes and all that crap right now.